Here are some diaspora stories for you. A United States court has sentenced Nigerian national Patrick Nwaokwu for his role in a fraudulent scheme involving fake nursing certificates and licenses. Authorities revealed that Nwaokwu and his associates sold forged credentials to individuals seeking employment in the healthcare sector, resulting in losses exceeding $1.5 million. The case, investigated by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, underscores concerns about credential fraud and its implications for public safety. Prosecutors stressed that the conviction serves as a warning against exploiting professional systems, particularly in critical sectors such as healthcare. Nigerian students in the diaspora have raised $20 million to support the senatorial ambition of Cross River South lawmaker, Ekpenyong. The initiative reflects growing political engagement among young Nigerians abroad, who say the contribution is aimed at strengthening credible leadership and representation. Organizers noted that Ekpenyong's track record in public service influenced their decision. The fundraising effort underscores the increasing role of diaspora communities in Nigeria's democratic process, particularly ahead of the 2027 elections, as they seek to influence governance through financial support and advocacy for candidates they consider capable and reform-driven. Ugandan authorities have detained 231 foreign nationals, including 62 Nigerians, during a nationwide crackdown on illegal migration. The operation, led by immigration officials and security agencies, targeted undocumented migrants and individuals suspected of violating residency laws. Officials stated that those arrested would undergo screening before possible deportation. The Ugandan government emphasized its commitment to enforcing immigration regulations and addressing security concerns linked to irregular migration. The development highlights ongoing challenges faced by Nigerians abroad, particularly regarding compliance with host country laws and the risks associated with undocumented residency across African nations. The Togolese government has introduced a new strategy aimed at boosting diaspora investment as part of its broader economic development agenda. Authorities say the plan will create structured channels for citizens abroad to invest in key sectors, including infrastructure, agriculture, and entrepreneurship. Officials emphasized that the initiative seeks to harness remittances and technical expertise from the diaspora to stimulate national growth. The move aligns with regional trends where African countries are increasingly recognizing diaspora communities as critical economic partners, leveraging their financial resources and global exposure to accelerate sustainable development and reduce dependence on external funding. The Iranian embassy in the United Kingdom has sparked backlash after urging members of the Iranian diaspora to demonstrate loyalty to their homeland. The message, which called on expatriates to support national defense efforts, drew criticism from activists and observers who view it as inappropriate and politically charged. Critics argue that such appeals could place pressure on diaspora communities and blur the line between civic identity and political allegiance. The controversy highlights ongoing tensions between governments and their citizens abroad, particularly in contexts where political messaging intersects with issues of freedom, identity, and international relations. The Azerbaijani diaspora has petitioned former U.S. President Donald Trump, expressing concerns over remarks made by politician Zohran Mamdan. The group criticized Mamdan's statements as biased and potentially harmful to Azerbaijan's image, urging Trump to intervene and address the issue. Diaspora leaders emphasized the importance of balanced discourse and responsible political commentary, particularly on international matters. The petition reflects how diaspora communities increasingly engage in global political advocacy, seeking to influence narratives and defend national interests abroad through formal appeals and strategic communication with influential political figures. Zimbabwean authorities and civic groups have called on citizens in the diaspora to return home and contribute to national recovery efforts. Leaders argue that the country needs the skills, capital, and experience of its overseas population to rebuild key sectors of the economy. The appeal highlights the critical role of diaspora communities in national development, particularly in post-crisis contexts. However, analysts note that challenges such as economic instability and governance concerns may affect the willingness of Zimbabweans abroad to return, despite ongoing calls for patriotism and participation in rebuilding the nation. Former U.S. President Donald Trump has introduced a policy requiring visa applicants, including Nigerians, to disclose whether they intend to seek asylum during their interviews. The directive instructs consular officers to assess applicants' intentions more rigorously, particularly regarding fears of returning to their home countries. The move is aimed at tightening immigration controls and preventing misuse of the asylum system. Critics argue it could discourage legitimate asylum seekers and complicate the visa process, while supporters believe it strengthens border security and ensures greater transparency in U.S. immigration procedures. An increasing number of Nigerians and other foreign nationals are exploring pathways to Canadian citizenship through ancestral connections. Immigration experts say applicants are leveraging family lineage to qualify under provisions that recognize descent as a basis for citizenship. The trend reflects growing interest in alternative migration routes amid stricter visa policies in other countries. Analysts note that such pathways offer long-term stability and access to opportunities in Canada, but require proper documentation and verification of ancestry. The development highlights evolving migration strategies among Nigerians seeking global mobility and improved living conditions. The Nigerian Institute of Social and Economic Research, (NISER), and the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, (NIDCOM), have jointly reviewed a major diaspora study aimed at strengthening policy frameworks for national development. The validation process brought together stakeholders to assess findings and recommendations on harnessing diaspora contributions. Officials emphasized the importance of evidence-based policies in maximizing remittances, skills transfer, and investment from Nigerians abroad. The initiative underscores the government's commitment to integrating diaspora engagement into national planning, recognizing its potential to drive economic growth and sustainable development across multiple sectors. The Baram Diaspora Coalition, BDC, has called on the Nigerian government to declare Mahanga in Plateau State a terrorist enclave following renewed violence in the area. The group accused armed attackers of targeting communities and demanded stronger security intervention. BDC leaders urged authorities to take decisive action to protect lives and restore order, warning that continued attacks could escalate tensions. The appeal reflects growing concern among diaspora groups over insecurity in Nigeria, as they increasingly advocate for government accountability and proactive measures to address violence affecting their home communities. For more diaspora stories, subscribe to our channel, follow us and visit diasporanews.ng now.